implications here seems to be felt back home in India. Even as the prosecution of Nicolas Maduro begins in the US, the Gandhi Parivar loyalist and Congress leader Prithviraj Chavan seems to be cautioning the Modi Sarkar. He says what happened in Venezuela can happen in other countries too, warning that India could be next if Bharat doesn't take a stand against the US. He's called out on Russia and China-style stance, criticizing the capture of the Venezuelan president. He also asks if the government is silent because it is scared of America.
It's a very grave concern that tomorrow it can happen to any other country. Tomorrow it can happen to India. If you allow one country to hegemon to have its will in international affairs, I think we are going for a very dangerous kind of a territory. India has not spoken as usual, not taken a stand, but in India, Prime Minister Modi is more concerned about his own personal image than standing up for what is right and what is wrong. And now here, we are so scared about Americans that we are not even trying to criticize what has happened.
Now, as far as these warnings that has been coming from certain leaders in the opposition, because time and again, whether it comes to the examples that they seem to be citing on what's happening within, India's neighborhood, the Indian subcontinent, as far as the uprising that happened in Nepal, what's currently happening in Bangladesh, what happened in Sri Lanka, they seem to be giving out these eerie warnings and these calls that something similar may happen here back in India. And when it comes to a democratically elected government, may be uprooted. Now, such kind of warnings are now coming in after when it comes to US pressure on India, especially when it comes to the recent statement that has been made by the President of the United States, where individually on a personal level that he continues to praise the Prime Minister, but he cites concern over being unhappy over India's continued purchase of Russian oil. So over this pressure building, it has been outrightly clear that India has never buckled and will not bow before the United States. However, when it comes to the same leader that we are talking about who seems to be issuing these warnings, because just last month he had described Operation Sindoor as a big defeat. He went so far to question to maintain 12 lakh strong military force, where Prithviraj Chavan wants to dismantle the army and wonders where they can be made to do other work. Now, the opposition argues that unilateral US action in Venezuela violates established principles of international law, yet it is overtly supporting movements that led to regime changes in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal. Now, thus have been the examples that has now been given on part of the opposition here back in India just because they are not in power. For the last over 10 years that we are looking at as far as the Modi government regime is concerned, to topple that, here are certain examples that have been given on part of leaders of the opposition, giving out warnings that what has been happening in surrounding areas and surrounding nations may as well happen in India too, and also calling out on Gen Z uprising. We have seen that has become a little like a poll plank for political parties whenever there are elections due in states. Now, giving out this warning of what happened in Venezuela may happen here in India as well, because these warnings that US President Donald Trump seems to be giving to other countries alike, they believe that India could be also next. Let's get in a word from Mohit now. Mohit, good morning. Is this not undermining the biggest democracy in the world, having no faith in your own electoral process just because you are not in power?
Well, yes, in fact, and that is a moot question over here that Prithviraj Chavan, who has been on a constitutional post in the past, he has been the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and he's a very senior leader of the Congress party. He comes out and said that what has happened in Venezuela can happen in India too. Is he trying to incite the people of the country? That is the main question over here. Now, you see, the Congress party leaders, many of them have come out and they have raised questions on India's stand, that why India has not come out condemning what has happened in Venezuela. But yes, India has come out with a statement that they are looking into what is happening in Venezuela. But when it comes to the international politics, you do not take any impulsive decision based on what the opposition says. You need to keep your interests safe. You need to keep your interests first. And perhaps that is why India is taking a very balanced stand as of now. But what we see is that domestic politics over Venezuela is raising on, where we see that the Congress party leader Prithviraj Chavan has come out and said that what has happened in Venezuela Venezuela can happen in India too. And these are the series of statements, is in the line with the series of statements that many of the opposition party leaders have given, where they have called for a protest like Bangladesh, Nepal, or in Sri Lanka, and they wanted a regime change like that because people are not happy with the policies of the government. And now Prithviraj Chavan coming out and saying that what has happened in Venezuela can happen in India too. This is something which is shocking, and that not expected of a senior leader like Prithviraj Chavan, that he's comparing the international politics or the situation in Venezuela with the thriving economy like India. So we can expect that the BJP might come out and hit out at the Congress party over his statements.
Well,
Back
on
to
a
you,
global
Anita.
footing, because the world has been stunned by the US actions taking place in Venezuela, but India has expressed deep concern over the recent developments and has called upon all parties to peacefully resolve the issue through dialogue, stressing the importance of regional peace and stability. This is a statement that has been issued by the Ministry of External Affairs, saying that it is closely monitoring the situation. Mohit, thank you for that update. In the meantime, let's talk about what's happening in India.